In the quiet hum of a world that never truly sleeps, there's a pulse soft, subtle, almost invisible, a whisper of progress. And tonight, we follow that whisper to the very edge of what humanity believes is possible. A place where cutting-edge science isn't just research, but a promise. A promise that tomorrow can be bigger, stranger, more breathtaking than today. Imagine standing in a dark room, illuminated only by thin blue lines of data drifting across glass, the air thick with anticipation. And a lone scientist leaning forward as reality itself begins to bend. Not with magic, but with mathematics, precision, and an unshakable desire to understand the impossible. In that fragile instant, we witness the birth of something extraordinary. Pause. Because to understand cutting-edge science, you don't simply learn it to feel it. It begins with a spark, a stubborn question that keeps returning. What if? What if we could read the brain like a map, bend light around an object? What if time steady, relentless time could be manipulated? These aren't fantasies anymore. They're frontiers, and at the center of every frontier lies a single, potent idea. Knowledge is not static. Science moves like a tide pooling, pushing, reshaping the shoreline of human understanding. Cutting-edge science is the moment when that tide crashes forward, sweeping away everything we thought we knew. And suddenly, the impossible doesn't feel so impossible anymore. Picture a silent machine, cold and humming with potential. Inside it, quantum bits dance in states we can barely describe. Quantum computing. People say it's as complicated and it is, but underneath all the jargon lies something beautifully simple. Instead of choosing between 0 and 1, quantum particles choose both. At the same time, reality opens like a secret doorway to a faster, stranger kind of logic. Scientists call it superposition. Entanglement names for principles that feel like science fiction bleeding into the real world. Because when a quantum computer solves a problem, it doesn't march. It leaps. Across possibilities, across landscapes of answers, breaking rules we never realized were rules. But the frontier doesn't end there. Now imagine a thin sheet of shimmering material. Lighter than paper, stronger than steel, almost impossibly thin. Graphene, a honeycomb, lattice of carbon atoms. Just one atom thick. One single layer. Yet it conducts electricity faster than copper, bends without breaking, and might redefine the technological backbone of human civilization. Batteries the last week's, computers so small, they vanish into clothing. Medical sensors drifting silently through the bloodstream, like tiny guardians. When graphene was discovered, scientists did uncelebrate quietly. They knew they had peeled back a layer of reality and found a supermaterial hiding in plain sight. A reminder that cutting-edge science doesn't always come from looking farther. Sometimes it comes from looking closer. And then, there is life itself. Some of the most groundbreaking science lives not in materials or machines, but inside the code woven into every cell of our bodies. CRISPR, a tool that seems unreal. Molecular scissors capable of cutting, editing, rewriting DNA. Humanity spent decades dreaming of fixing genetic disease at its root, not with pills, not with surgeries, but with precise edits to the blueprint of life. CRISPR made that dream real. Doctors watched children born with fatal disorders suddenly improve. Genetic mistakes corrected. Futures rewritten. But with power comes weight. A trembling question echoes beneath every breakthrough. If we can rewrite life, how far should we go? And here, cutting-edge science becomes deeply human. Not just theory, but responsibility. Not just discovery, but consequence. Let me take you into a real room, quiet, white, filled with machines whispering in steady rhythm. A child lies in a hospital bed, born with a rare genetic condition. Muscles unable to move. Breaths shallow. Doctors have tried everything. Treatments, machines, hope. Then comes an experimental CRISPR infusion. One injection, one chance. Slowly, impossibly. The child moves first a finger, then a hand, then a fragile, blooming smile that breaks the room apart. It isn't magic. It isn't the coincidence. It is the razor edge of science, cutting through centuries of limitation. In that moment, surrounded by stunned doctors and parents holding their breath, the future changes shape. A future where diseases written in stone may become edit by edit, gene by gene, life by life. But science isn't only about healing. Sometimes, it reveals truths buried deep within the universe, far beneath the earth, in underground caverns colder than winter and darker than midnight. Scientists watch particles called neutrinos pass through solid rock as if it's nothing at all. Billions of them ghost particles move through your body right now. Silent, invisible, indifferent. In these enormous detectors, scientists wait for a single flash of blue light, a signal that a neutrino has revealed itself. Why does it matter? Because neutrinos may hold the answer to why the universe exists, why matter won over antimatter, why stars formed, why planets formed Dwevi. For Med, to chase answers this enormous, humanity digs deeper than ever into mountains, into oceans, into the unknown, seeking the faint whispers of truth carried by particles that defy understanding. And cutting-edge science listens to those whispers, even when the rest of the world cannot hear. There's a pattern in all of this, a rhythm. Progress doesn't surge forward in grand leaps alone. It advances in tiny, stubborn steps taken by people who refuse to accept that impossible means forever. And when you see the world through this lens, ordinary things begin to feel different. A phone lighting in your palm, a satellite gliding across the night sky, a vaccine developed in months instead of decades. Every modern miracle is the final chapter in a story written across centuries, each breakthrough stacked on the shoulders of countless others. Today's cutting edge becomes tomorrow's everyday. Quantum computers humming quietly in your home, graphene woven into the devices you touch, gene therapies as routine as antibiotics. The future doesn't arrive with a bang, it arrives quietly, discovery by discovery. So pause, breathe, let the weight of it settle, because behind every scientific advance lies something profoundly human, a belief that the world can be better than it is, a belief that learning never ends, that curiosity is a force stronger than fear. Cutting-edge science isn't just instruments and equations, it's the courage to question what everyone assumes is true. It's the persistence of minds who fail 1,000 times, whispering one more attempt. It is humanity at its most determined, curious, bold, beautifully restless. And that's why these breakthroughs move us. They remind us that progress is possible, that change is possible, that we are capable of more. So as the lights dim and the story slows into quiet, remember the cutting edge isn't a place. It's a direction, a decision to keep moving forward even when the path disappears into darkness. And right now, somewhere in a lab glowing with screens, or a basement cluttered with prototypes, or a quiet university hallway where fluorescent lights buzz overhead, someone is making the next breakthrough. Someone is bending light, splicing genes, mapping invisible particles, creating materials that shouldn't exist, asking questions no one has dared to ask. And one day, their work will redefine everything, just like the discoveries before them, just like the discoveries yet to come. Pause. This is the miracle of cutting-edge science. A reminder that the universe is bigger than our fears, and that our potential is greater than we imagine. The story doesn't end here. It never has, and it never will.